Hey, that's right. Today we are doing another album review. Today we are diving into Humanhood by The Weather Station. All right, so if you're not familiar, The Weather Station is a musical project of Tamara Lindemann, a Canadian singer-songwriter who's been crafting delicate yet emotionally charged art pop and folk rock over the decade now. She's been known for her introspective lyrics, lush arrangements, and a knack for creating albums that both feel deeply personal and universally relatable. In 2021, they released a breakout album called Ignorance. This was a pivot moment for art pop territory with themes of climate change and existential dread. It got a lot of critical acclaim, including a spot on many year-end lists. Now we fast forward to 2025, and Lindemann's back with Humanhood, an album that takes her sound even further into experimental, atmospheric realms. But does it deliver? Let's find out. Right off the bat, Humanhood feels like an album born out of isolation and reconnection. It's textured, lush, and deeply introspective, exploring themes of loneliness, connection, and the messy in-between spaces of being human. You've got art pop, art rock, and ambient interludes. It's all here, and it's beautifully woven together. The album kicks off with Descent, an airy ambient piece including flute, piano, and soft drums. It's the perfect mood setter, creating the ethereal space before transitioning seamlessly into the next song. A strong opening that pulls you right into the album's atmosphere. In Neon Sign, this is where things really start to shine. Lindemann's voice is front and center, floating over a bed of intricate textures, flutes, synths, and catchy drum patterns. The chorus is infectious, and the song builds to a cathartic, almost chaotic climax that mirrors the emotional themes of social isolation and depression. It's both beautiful and devastating, easily a standout track. The next song, Mirror, is unconventional but incredibly engaging. It has no chorus, and it's a straightforward structure of 4 verses. The production is rich, including clanging metallic sounds, vibrant pianos, and a stunning string section in the final moments. It's experimental yet accessible, making it another highlight. In Window, this is a short track that packs a punch. The chorus is lush, it's textured, the production is impactful, and while the verses could use a bit more depth, it's still gorgeous, emotional moment on the record. Then we move on to Passage, which is a glitchy, synth-heavy interlude with static and radio-like effects that transition smoothly into body moves. It's not just a filler, it's a vital thread in the album's sonic tapestry. Then we move on to Body Moves, and in my opinion, this is my favorite song on the entire album. With a bass line that grooves, saxophone that soars, and the intricate layers of drums, pianos, and synths. It's a masterclass in production. The vocal layering and instrumental break elevate this track to perfection. If you only listen to one song on this album, make it this one. In Ribbon, it's led by a piano and soft percussion. The track's rich, layered chorus and lush instrumental break make it a standout. The interplay of textures here, strings, drums, and piano, feel effortless and deeply emotive. It transitions beautifully into the next interlude. Then we move on to Fluve, which is another interlude, this time with a sparse lyric and minimalist production. It serves as a moment of reflection before the album's second half. Then we move on to the title track, Humanhood. It blends piano, drums, synth, and even folk elements like banjo and guitar. A saxophone solo adds a jazzy touch, and the interluding bridge and instrumental close are gorgeous. It's introspective yet expansive, embodying the album's themes perfectly. Then we move on to Irreversible Damage. While I think this is a weaker song in the album, I do still think it has a good place in here. It takes a slightly darker turn with a rougher piano tone, a controversial lyric style, and a lyric dynamic build. While it's more of a transitional piece, it's still a solid entry, though it doesn't stand as strongly on its own. The next song, Lonely, is a slow, sentimental ballad with synth, piano, and a touch of saxophone. Lindemann's vocals are heartfelt and raw, making this track a deeply emotional high point. Then we move on to the last interlude, Aurora. It's an eerie, cinematic interlude that brings back motifs from the opener, tying the album's themes together as it fades to black. Then we move on to the closer, Sewing. It's soft, it's spacious, and deeply reflective. With slow piano, subtle drums, and airy flute. It builds to a stunning climax before fading out with a delicate piano solo. It's a beautiful and fitting end to an album. So Humanhood, what's the verdict? This is an album that demands your attention and rewards it with lush production, emotional depth, and seamless transitions. Tamar Lindemann continues to push boundaries, crafting a record that feels both timeless and innovative. It's not just an album, it's an experience. At the end of the day, I'm feeling a strong 8 to a light 9 on this one. But hey, that's just my take. What do you think of Humanhood? Let me know in the comments. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more reviews. This is your Melody Mark, where every song has a story. Until next time, keep spinning.